JC Tickets provides first-class trips to Ravens road games, including airfare, 4-star hotels, game tickets, and cocktail parties. We also help provide great seating locations to all Ravens home games. JC Tickets, where the games begin. Visit us at jctickets.net.
Ravens Wrap is sponsored by Bud Light, jctickets.net, Geico Insurance, Dunaway Furniture, Ocean City Golf Club, RussellStreetReport.com, Comfort Inn Gold Coast, Holiday Inn Express, the original Green Turtle, hosted by the Blue Ox Bar and Grill.
Hey, welcome back in. It is the original Green Turtles Ravens Wrap Show right here on Comcast Beach TV and Delmarva's Rock Radio, the strongest signal Ravens affiliate on the peninsula, 93.5 The Beach, broadcasting for the Ravens Room of the Blue Ox with Ravens Roost 44 and 44! Ravens fans all across Delmarva. And we invite all Ravens fans across the peninsula to come on down. I want to make mention of two of our advertisers quickly, jctickets.net. They enable us to give away free tickets to you, the audience. So it is in your best interest to come down to the show. Doors open at 5. The show starts at 7 on Wednesdays. We give you tickets. You got a couple of different bins you can put them in. And we do drawings every couple of weeks for these Ravens games, thanks to jctickets.net. We also want to thank our friends at Dunaway Furniture for this brand new set. And right now, folks, an indoor, or I should say in-stock outdoor furniture, 50% off sale. They've got outdoor furniture made of powder-coated aluminum, sunbrella fabric, which can be cleaned with bleach and doesn't fade in the sun. It's very sturdy and well made. They've also got chaise lounges, dining sets, umbrellas, glider love seats, and same-day delivery if you buy it off the deck. Also free local delivery, 130th Street, Bayside, Ocean City, 410-250-5100. All right, to my left for this segment, Murph from Smitty McGee's joining us. Murph, how you doing, buddy?
We're doing great. We're doing great. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Yeah, Steve Pappas and Bobby Vermillion, a part of the panel as well. And guys, quickly, let me go through some of the transactions that have happened so far up to our taping. The Ravens cut rookie safety Brendan Trawick. Now, he's infamous for giving Jacoby Jones his ACL or PCL strain, or MCL strain, I should say, excuse me, and keeping him out 4 to 6 weeks. They cut him. They picked up safety Jeremy Miles off waivers from the Bengals. However, Trawick cleared waivers, and they put him back on the practice squad in order to accommodate him. They did cut inside linebacker Brandon Copeland, who's a Gilman grad, local kid. Unfortunately, they had to make room for him. Also, they brought in another safety from the Cowboys. They haven't signed him this week, but clearly safety is a spot, special teams depth, that they're looking for to improve on with that. But let's talk about the Houston Texans' 30-9 win. And I guess let's go to the defensive side of the ball first. We knew that this is a work in progress. They had played well against Cleveland at home, but to expect them to come out and play the way that they did, again, guys, the defensive line stepped up. Not only after that first drive was a little tricky, they gave up over 4 yards of rush on that first drive, but afterwards they held them to under 4 yards of carry. No more than the biggest rush they had between Tate and Foster was 10 yards. They did a good job. We had quarterback pressures, we had a couple of sacks and some quarterback pressures as well. 7 quarterback hits, 3 sacks. Suggs and Dumerville getting it done. Again, that's what we paid for, Murph, with this line. That's why we wanted to bolster that defense.
Yeah, I think too what you said about the safety. I think Huff might have been a little bit of a mistake. I think he's a work in progress getting the field, but the new rookie, he's
Matt Elam played a good game.
Oh my gosh, he's playing super well. And it's a work in progress. Everybody learning where everybody is on the field. It's going to take time. I mean, and being young and the enthusiasm that we show, and we're way faster, I think, than we were last year. Way faster on defense.
It's nice having Ladarius Webb back, too.
Oh, yeah.
Great cover guy. And both of them, Jimmy Smith and Ladarius Webb, both had great games.
Yeah.
And, we got pressure on the quarterback. The linebackers are quicker than they were last year.
Absolutely.
And I think our defense is better than it was last year, but I'll go back to looking for that leadership guy.
Yeah.
They're looking for that leadership guy. Darryl Smith's a great athlete. But I don't know if he's going to be that leader that they
Not
really
a vocal leader.
need. Not a vocal leader. But you got Terrell Suggs and you got Dumerville. I think as time goes on, those two guys are going to be the guys that all the defense look to.
Right. Well, I think Ladarius Webb, too, there's another example of somebody that, is a great player that leads by example and gets out there and does everything right. I think he's gaining more confidence in that knee every game.
Yes.
I think that's a big thing, gaining the confidence in the knee.
I think this whole leadership thing is a little bit overrated. I do. I think I'm gonna lean on Bruce for this. They talk about leadership. I think Joe Flacco is definitely the leader of this team. On defense, I think you have several leaders. Obviously, you're not going to have another dynamic leader, probably ever, like a Ray Lewis. But I think that the players in this team have heard enough about the lack of leadership. I think that's going to be a motivating factor for them, because I think they do believe they have leaders. I think John Harbaugh believes they have leaders. So I think we need to put that to bed a little bit and look at the players that we do have. We've got some good experience on the defensive side of the football with guys like Sugg, Webb, Dumerville, Haloti Ngata. And to me, the whole first half, actually the whole first quarter, when the defense stepped up and they only allowed 2 field goals, that was really the difference in the game, because we could have been down 14-0 or at least 10-0 early, which then we would have had to struggle. But you know what? Let's credit our Ravens offense too. They didn't give up on the run. The defense stopped them. We stayed in the game. And then right before halftime, obviously, we had the big explosion.
Well, the first field goal came on special teams, 12 men on the field. They should not have gotten that ball back, and they might not have scored there at all with that. But I wanted to bring up a couple points. You bring up Lardarius Webb. Not only is he big in terms of the pass coverage, but let's talk about the tackles. He had 7 tackles. He's as valuable in pass defense as coming up against the run, and that's something I think our corners have been good at. Even last year, I know Kerry Williams wasn't a fan favorite, but the one thing you could say about him is he was physical. He would come up. He would make tackles. Jimmy Smith to some extent. I think this team as a whole, tackling-wise, I think they're very good this year.
Well, they're young guys. I mean, they're all young guys playing for a job, basically. I mean, a lot of these new rookies and everything, they're coming into their own. Every game they're going to get better and better and better and better. And I mean, that's the thing we got to look forward to, is just getting better every game. Young guys, players, rookies. It's going to be awesome. We're better on defense than maybe we've been in a long, long time.
Well, I don't know if we can step out of the box that crazy, but I'll say this: James Hedebo had a good game last week.
Yep.
The defense obviously, it was funny because before week 1, I talked about how excited I was to watch the Ravens play against Peyton Manning and the Broncos, and then obviously the defense got exposed a little bit there. But I don't think that's not who we are. I think the last 2 games are more indicative of what you'll see from the Ravens defense. And to play the way we played against the Texans, which is a very physical football team, had one of the more powerful offenses in the NFL leading up to this game, and we were able to shut them out. A lot of people didn't give us credit because we did it against the Browns, and the Browns are the Browns, although they end up beating the Vikings this week. So you never know. The Ravens, I still think, are very talented on the defensive side of the ball, and you talk about a work in progress. I think you have to look at the offensive side of the football.
That red zone defense that the Ravens have, that Texas wasn't expecting that. What was their red zone offense scoring? You should have the numbers.
Well, give me I'll get back to me on a second. I'll get it here in just a second for you with that.
But I think
0 for 2. Right.
Okay. Ravens played pretty good on the defensive side of the ball. And getting back to this leadership thing again, you can be a leader. You can be a leader and be quiet and still be a leader. Some guys have that presence where you don't have to, and we have Sandy Unitas here tonight. He was one of them. He was probably the greatest at it. He didn't have to rah and scream and yell and everything. He could give you a glare, and you knew that it meant something. Don't do it again. Don't mess up. He was a leader by example, and that's what Joe Flacco is. I will agree with Bobby about that, but that's about as far as I'm going.
Can we get that? Can we get a witness?
Hey, a couple of things to bring up, too, with the defense. You mentioned James Hedebo, probably his best game as a Raven. He had 9 tackles, 5 solo in that one. Another area, too, the defensive line. Haloti Ngata the last year and a half has been injured. He has not lived up to billing, and we're paying him a lot of money, but he hasn't been healthy, to be fair to him. He, along with Art Jones, and that defensive line, which was thin because Terrence Cody went out early in that game with a knee or ankle sprain, I believe. Yeah. Brandon Williams, the rookie draft pick, he still hasn't suited up yet for the team. We had Chris Canty out for that game. So it was a thin rotation of maybe about 4 defensive linemen. But Haloti Ngata up front, he's getting it done, commanding double teams and pushing that pocket up the middle.
Yeah. And he's got help, too. I mean, before, Ngata was not only hurt last year, but look who we had beside him. Arthur Jones is a good player. He kind of came into his own, particularly in the playoffs last year. He's playing really well right now. And with the addition of Spears and Candy, even though Candy didn't play last weekend, I think that's a big factor. Nada's, they can't double Nada as much now. And, then you got Doomerville and Suggs on the outside. So that's going to make Nada even better. And so I think you're right, Mike. The fact that he's healthier this year than he has been in years, and the fact that he's got some more help. When you got Doomerville and Suggs coming from the edge, and if they push that pocket up in the middle, we talked about this last week. That's a big help for the defense, no doubt about it.
Yeah, and keeping him off Daryl Smith's a big deal too. I mean, let him roam around and make tackles. Right. I mean, the guard can't get out because they got a double team that he takes 2 people up. I mean, that's a big deal on Daryl Smith. I mean, letting those linebackers roam a lot freer back there and make tackles.
Yeah, the defense is definitely better than it was last year. There's no question. The one part of the game we haven't talked about yet, and I'm sure we're going to get it to one of the segments, is the offensive running game. Mm-hmm. And then it goes right back again to Bernard Pierce was having a tough first quarter, and then all the way to when Ray Lewis showed up. I'm going to bring it up again. Man. All of a sudden, he's back to the old Bernard Pierce that we were used to from last year.
Where's Bruce Laird when I need him?
Yeah, that's right.
I'm telling you, once again, Ray Lewis makes his presence felt.
I mean, Ray did line up as a running back last year in the last game on the last play. I mean, that is something to look at.
Did you see when Daryl Smith intercepted the ball and Ray Lewis was running down?
That was Tandem Dawson.
Tandem Dawson.
They hadn't shown.
But they showed it. They showed
it. When Daryl Smith made the interception, they hadn't shown Ray yet. So let's not go there.
It was but he was there. He was there. He was there.
Oh, he was in the building.
He was there. He made his presence felt. It's a mystique about it.
Well, and let's talk about the offense for a second. It's still something that's evolving. Clearly, the running game still isn't there. We'll delve into that a little bit more in the next segment, but got to give Joe Flacco. I thought Joe Flacco, again, no interceptions. He's not forcing the issue. They are having a conservative game plan. They did go vertical a little bit in the second half, and that second catch Torrey Smith should have had, but boy, both times, Joe, accurate deep balls to Torrey, but he has to run, guys, we talked last week about more of the route tree, not just the vertical route, but other routes, because he's the lead guy, and he's got to be more versatile for that offense right now. But field position early on, heck, they got the ball at the 2-yard line and the 7 in the first 2 possessions. But as the game went on, they got a little bit more vertical. But Joe, I thought Joe had a good game, and moving around to the pocket, that's something he showed in the playoffs last year.
It was good to see Dallas Clark have a decent game.
He did 4 catches,
That was pretty nice. That's going to be big because you can't have Torrey Smith coming across the middle and making catches inside like that because he's going to get hurt. You need that big, tight end coming through there. And they say Pittem might be coming back, I don't know. You probably know more. He might come back towards the end.
It would be later in the year if it's going to happen. Yeah, but he's still can return.
And he comes back. You talk about the offense, not in sync yet. Same thing with the defense. When the defense starts, because that's a new defense playing together. The more games they get, the better they're going to be. A lot better.
Well, Mike, you mentioned Joe Flacco.
Yeah,
I'll just say it now. I mean, Joe Flacco has played great this year with all the injuries to the offense, with the new receivers. You Stokely and Dallas Clark haven't been there that long. You mentioned how Dallas Clark had a couple big catches this weekend, but you hear a lot of different things about a lot of different quarterbacks. Everybody, if you watch Comcast Sportsnet, you'll think RG3 is the second coming. You heard everybody talk about
RG0 and 3, right? RG0
and then you talk about Colin Kaepernick. But let me tell you something. It's the body of work. And what Joe Flacco has done and what he continues to do, hats off to him because, as you mentioned, not turning the ball over, making plays when he has to make plays. And that's really the sign of a good quarterback and a good leader.
Hey, we've got more to come. It's the Ravens Wrap Show on Comcast Beach TV and Del Mar Mismark Radio, 93.5 The Beach.
What's this all about?
We're giving Rich the NFL experience of a goal line dive.
Really?
There's an easier way to get an ultimate NFL fan experience. Just snap the tag wherever Bud Light is sold and you could win. Bud Light in the NFL. Here we go.
Can I make it?
On the internet, yes. Into the end zone, no.